established at this occasion. But let me introduce myself formally, if not for anything else, but for the benefit of the Master of Ceremony, who does not know the President of the Bar. I am Udumide Akpata. I am President of the Nigeria Bar Association. And I am here, distinguished Senator, with the entire complement of the national officers of the association and a huge representation of our 125 branches around the country, represented by chairmen here from the River State branches, Gwagwalada, Buhari, etc., etc. Mr. Chairman, we thank you for the privilege accorded the Nigeria Bar Association to speak to the issues that have arisen today, or that are being considered today. Let me, in the sequence that you have already established, speak to the legal practitioners, the bill to amend or to repeal and reenact the Legal Practitioners Act. Mr. Chairman, you are correct when you state that this is a stakeholders bill. And you are correct when you state that as between the body of benchers and the Nigeria Bar Association, there have been meetings and attempts to harmonize positions with regard to what this bill should actually contain. However, Mr. Chairman, permit me to say that this document is still a work in progress. And as you have said, it's a dynamic subject that we're dealing with, and we must continue to work at it until we get to the finished product. Mr. Chairman, the legal profession, just like any other profession in the world, is changing. That's why we appreciate the foresight displayed by the sponsor of this bill, your good self, in recognizing the tides and introducing a bill that seeks to bring forward-thinking approach to the legislation governing the legal profession in Nigeria. The bill has been scrutinized by the Nigeria Bar Association, and like I've said, it's a work in progress. A couple of things that we still need to work on. For example, Mr. Chairman, there is a provision of the bill that, if we allow it pass, can undo the great objective the bill has set out to achieve. This provision is contained in Clause 19 of the bill, which is in the interpretation part of the bill that states as follows. NBA. Referencing to NBA, Nigeria Bar Association and Association, includes the incorporated trustees of the Nigeria Bar Association. And then for emphasis, let me say, or any other body incorporated for the governance and management of the legal profession. This emphasis is ours. The insertion of the underlined phrase, or any other body incorporated for the governance and management of the legal profession, is in the opinion of the Nigeria Bar Association unnecessary for reasons which will be spelled out below. And let me very quickly apologize in the event that this provision was contained at the point when I first saw this document. You know, I'm acutely myopic, Mr. Chairman. I wear glasses, and I've been doing that for over 40 years. I may have missed it. But thankfully, in the course of re-reviewing and rereading, this caught my eyes, now with my glasses on. And definitely, we have to strike it down. The legal profession in Nigeria is self-regulatory. The NBA, as presently constituted, is the umbrella body of lawyers called to the Nigerian bar, and has played the role of regulator of the legal profession in Nigeria for a long time. The NBA has discharged this role creditably in the long and storied history of the legal profession in Nigeria. The suggestion or inference that another body will be incorporated to govern the affairs of the legal profession in Nigeria attempts to create a dichotomy where none should exist. Nigeria has signed and ratified the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, And in the Trades and Services Protocol, the ongoing negotiations at the continental level, the legal profession is among the 5 priority sectors in the negotiations. Nigerian lawyers, now more than ever before, need one whole and indivisible body of lawyers to protect and advance the interests of the teeming members of the legal profession in Nigeria. The existence of only one professional association of lawyers called to the Nigerian bar helps in creating regulatory certainty and upholding standards, ethics, and other rules that create a modicum of certainty amongst its members and members of the public. There is therefore no need or concern that we are aware of that will cause a reinvention of the wheel that has served the profession in Nigeria. Distinguished Senator, and again, let me just quickly let my dear brother, and I think he's gone now, the former governor of Borno State, this is not a case of exaggerated self-importance. We are just trying to protect a profession that is so critical to the building of a nation. The distinguished senator, Mr. Chairman, may wish to note that the NBA has worked on many reports which seek to reform the Legal Practitioners Act. The NBA is willing and available, Mr. Senator, to collaborate with this Senate to consolidate the outcomes of these reports with the work that is already ongoing in enacting a fresh legislative framework for the legal practitioner profession in Nigeria. While hoping that, Mr. Chairman, I know that there's not much time, but I just wanted to mention that, Mr. Chairman, in the event that you give additional time to the bar, I would also like for Chief Tony Digbe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who is in this hall, to also speak to some of the issues as long as you have time. Otherwise, we are willing and ready and available to make available to you all that we have come up with regard to what this profession or the practice of law should look like in the 21st century. Mr. Chairman, rushing on quickly to the Legal Education Consolidation Act 2004, the bill that is before us, so as not to belabor the point, I want to say that I will just read a part of my letter to you. While the NBA concedes the nobility and good intention of this bill, permit me to state that the Nigerian Law School, as it stands today, is currently underfunded. This sorry state of affairs is evidenced by the budgetary allocations to the Nigerian Law School to undertake capital projects. In 2020 budget for the Council of Legal Education, the figure I see here is 214 million naira. The same situation in 2021, I have seen a figure, I don't want to believe it, but it says 61 million naira to build 2 hostels in Yanagua and Yola campuses of the Nigerian Law School. This spate of poor funding for capital projects has led to the inevitable absence of critical teaching and training aids that the Nigerian Law School needs to train the next generation of lawyers to be competitive in the emerging legal market. Some news reports have put the cost of constructing the new campuses that we are proposing at 32 billion naira, if that is to be believed. I would say that if this sum is plowed into the targeted infrastructure progress in the already existing campuses of the Nigerian Law School, we will do much more and will make better use of it than to create new law schools. I align myself with the views expressed by other speakers. Creation of new law schools should be on a needs basis, and that need can only be determined by the Council of Legal Education. The bill seeks to create 6 additional campuses of the Nigerian Law School and list specific locations. For the proposed campus in the South-South, this is a key issue. Orogun in Delta State is the location. And we have discussed this already, and Senator Adeyemi has made clarifications. I want to believe that going forward, we are not ignoring the fact that there is already a law school approved for Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Finally, distinguished Senator, the resources of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are wearing thin by the day. It is therefore important and expedient that these scarce resources are allocated in a way and a manner that will bring the most benefit to the citizens of Nigeria. Having outlined the reasons why we are concerned about the proposal to build additional campuses of the Nigerian Law School, we urge your committee to look into the 2022 Appropriation Act and provide adequate funding for the Council of Legal Education to maintain and upgrade the facilities in the already existing campuses. Mr. Chairman, in my capacity as President of the Bar, I sit on the Council of Legal Education. But having said that, I speak on this occasion as President of the Bar, and I commit to you that even with regard to this bill, the MBA is available to work with your committee to achieve a situation that will work for the majority of Nigerians. We are not for blocking access to anybody, but the numbers that are before me, the numbers I see with regard to carrying capacity, with regard to law schools in the various universities, what we have today is adequate. We need to fund it properly and then begin to plan for the future. And if I may add, the world that we are moving into, brick and mortar law schools may not actually be fashionable. So let us also consider that while we are having a... Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, I humbly ask that you consider my application for Chief Anthony Idigbe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to speak also on behalf of the Nigerian Bar Association.
My name is Adegboyega Awomolo. I'm a life bencher. I want to thank you, sir, for an occasion like this when people of diverse background, particularly stakeholders in the legal profession, are given opportunity to air their views with respect to the legal profession. I think the last amendment of the legal profession did not enjoy this much of participation. Now, distinguished Senator Koyemi sponsors the bill under discussion. And I can tell you, sir, with all sincerity, that the bill presented for discussion or for public hearing today harmonized the views of the members of Nigerian Bar Association, members of the Body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, and contributions from members of the legislature, that's House of Rep, and senators. The new bill has 21 sections. It has 2 schedules. And the Legal Practitioners Establishment Amendment Act has to do with the composition, tenure, establishment of secretariats, the body of benchers and its committees, the Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee of the body of benchers, establishment, composition, and penalty for professional conduct, appeals, among others. It has provision for General Counsel of the Bar, its establishment, composition, tenure, among others. Issuance of stamp and seal, licensing of legal practitioners, inner and docket priorities, eligibility to call to the bar and practice law in Nigeria, including foreigners who wish to practice law in Nigeria. It has provisions for pupillage for young lawyers. When I was called to bar in '78, there was this pupillage which required you to practice for 5 years in an established chambers before you can establish your own. I practiced in an established chambers for 5 years before I started mine in 1983. We have also provisions relations to unauthorized practice of the law. The current bill, as sponsored by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, distinguished Senator Michael Okoyemi Bamidele, is in tandem with the proposals of the body of benchers, which was adopted at his meeting. Therefore, the body of benchers respectfully supports the proposed bill and urge cooperation of the bar and other stakeholders in the passage of the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. President, Nigerian Bar Association.
Kogi State, particularly of Okun extraction, to thank you very much for considering Okun area, particularly for citing a campus of the proposed law school campus in Kaba. I don't want to bother myself, to be honest, about all the arguments that have been proffered by members of the legal community. That's their duty to do. But my duty also here, representing our own people, is not to query the wisdom of members of this august committee to propose a legislation that will unbundle, as it were, deregulate and give freedom, create more campuses so that more people can benefit. I'm not here to query that wisdom at all, but just to accept with both hands the great opportunity of a lifetime that as a people we have not had. I'm sure that people in this hall must have been hearing about Kaba, Okun people for a long time. The importance of that area in the history of Nigeria, particularly in the north, cannot be overemphasized. But it is the only area that does not have the required federal presence. And that if you are giving us this on a platter of gold, for God's sake, all arguments that anybody may raise to defeat that purpose, as far as we are concerned as a people, is null and void. I'm a critical stakeholder in the legal profession. I know that my mentor is there, Chief Awomolo, but I have done close to 40 years also as a lawyer, and I appreciate everything that has been said here today. But please, don't judge everybody by the standard of Rivers State. It is true that the governor has done very nobly, but let me assure you that there are other governors that are also ready to do even more noble things to support this cause. Let me tell you that as we speak, a very powerful delegation of Kogi State, led by the Secretary to the State Government, is here. Our royal fathers, led by Oba Solomon Owoni, the Oba of Kaba, with about 10 crown chiefs and Obas are here with him on this to underscore the importance of this exercise. So for us, it is a welcome development. And please, I want to appeal to all of us that if we go by a stereotype idea of, it is a cash and carry kind of thing, then in Northwest they won't have. In Northeast they won't have. Then it means that it is only those who are willing to put the cash on table that will have it. But we are assuring you that once you approve this for us, by the mercy and the grace of God, we have the cash to back it up. Finally, sir, Mr. Akwai, of course, we are friends, and you know me very well. And I'm sure that you'll be very happy. You'll be very happy, sir. And you will celebrate with me to know that I, your friend, that I'm also from that area where this campus is going to be located. And I want to finally thank most sincerely, Senator Adeyemi, please listen to me, that in the Bible, there was Mordecai. He spoke for the welfare and the progress and well-being of his people. This is our Mordecai.
Let us speak. The only 1 minute that you have left, speak to the LPA Act bill. Yeah, Legal Practitioners Act Amendment Bill.
May I, with due respect, tell you that whatever the president has said, I align myself with it. In fact, I cannot improve on what the president has said. So I would like to take that 1 minute to round up on this number 2. And to say, sir, Mr. Chairman, sir, my 1 minute, sir, I say I will save it in respect of number 2 to say that please give us this day our daily bread. That's what the Bible says. Give us this day this campus in Kaba. And we support, we support this bill 200%.
Thank you, sir.
You had received it. Let me tell a story that I was once the president of the Nigerian Association of Law Students. And at that time, we had 5 faculties of law. When we had to go to Lagos, most of us were uncomfortable. And we said we should stay in our universities and sit our bar finals. But superior wisdom indicated that we needed to be in one law school under the Council of Legal Education, and they would provide the professional training of all of us as lawyers. Now, it seems to me that this bill is seeking to take away that power of the Council of Legal Education to determine where and when it should cite law schools. It would not be, in my humble view, appropriate to constrain the Council of Education by such a law. It would not be so. Because once you put it in a law, anybody who is from a Lawe, for instance, would insist that before you go and open a campus in Meduguri and Agungu, you will also open a campus in wherever it is. And you may not be certain that the Council of Legal Education would be prepared to establish that kind of campus. So my humble view is that this bill needs to look at the powers already existing, vested in the Council of Legal Education, which is the power they have exercised over the years since 1962 and established the 6 campuses that presently exist. Now, there is also an additional campus that is on in Port Harcourt, which has been approved. Through all the mechanisms set forth for such approval, due process was followed from the President down to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. So I think that the point that I've tried to make in my memo is that this is not necessary at this time. The Council of Legal Education already has the power, it is exercising that power, and there is no need to constrain it with a legislation like this. I've made the point that there was some oversight in not mentioning that Port Harcourt has already been established. All that is happening is that it is being constructed, and at the time it was approved, there was no opposition to it. So I hope that this will be taken into account duly, and we will let sleeping dogs lie. Thank you, sir.
The memorandum dated 12th November 2021, which was duly submitted in the register of the committee, and I most respectfully...
Please, sir, just adopt it
and
speak to it for
yes,
a few minutes.
in its entirety as our position. Mr. Chairman, sir, our position was that this bill is quite palpably unnecessary because establishing law school is purely an administrative action, and that all that is required is for Council of Legal Education to determine when and where to establish law school on need assessment basis. We are also of the opinion that this bill, as presently constituted, was targeted against the Port Harcourt Law School. Because, yes, I answer so with deepest sense of responsibility.
Sir,
yes, sir.
Can you just speak to your memorandum? You have just 2 minutes to do this.
That point is my memorandum, sir.
And now, again, don't join issues.
Okay, sir.
It is the right of every senator or member House of Reps to sponsor a bill